In the world of luxury fashion, particularly handbags, there's one common mistake that I see collectors make all the time. Not only does this mistake quietly drain your bank account of hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, but it almost always ends in luxury fatigue and burnout. I know this because I have made this mistake myself. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the lessons I've learned and three simple habits you can adopt to ensure you never fall into this trap. Because if you can avoid it, not only will you save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, but it will also help you create a luxury collection that you can love long term. If you're new here, this is Alula West Lux. Welcome to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here. I make videos for anyone who loves luxury fashion, particularly handbags, and you want to make smart purchasing decisions. I hope you do subscribe to my channel to follow along for future videos. You can also find me on Instagram at Lula West Lux. Let's get into the topic of today's video. The biggest mistake I see people make is buying for the thrill of the moment and not for their own real life or personal style. A lot of people do this without even thinking about it. You're probably sitting there thinking, I don't do that. I don't buy for the thrill of the moment. I think I make smart purchases. But one of the telltale signs that you are falling into this trap is that you're getting stuck in a constant cycle of buying and selling bags. This always drains your account of money and it always leads to fatigue. We're going to dive in and take a look at some specifics of what that looks like and a few shopping habits that you can adopt to ensure you never fall into this habit. Let's start from the top. Even if you are the most restrained and calculated buyer, you really take your time to think about purchases. It is very easy to fall into the trap of buying for the moment because increasingly that's how fashion is marketed to us. Luxury brands are very good at creating scarcity and hype and using FOMO to market their products to us. There's a really common tactic and sort of a running joke in the luxury community that a particular piece that a sales associate is trying to sell to you is the last in the country. This is something a lot of advisors use when they want you to buy something. It's always the last in the country. If you don't buy this particular one, you can never get it again. And 99% of the time, I hate to tell you, that's just not true. There is something to be said for that. As humans, I think we have a tendency to want to be included. A lot of people don't like that feeling of being left out. However, I have to tell you, most often it's not the bags we miss out on that we regret, but it's the ones we rush to buy that we impulse purchase that we end up regretting. The single most important question you can ask yourself when buying a new bag or a new anything is a pretty simple and boring question. It's, will I still use this and enjoy using it in 2 to 3 years from now? And I do realize that our styles and our lives do evolve over time, but even for the relatively short time of just 2 to 3 years, is this something that you can see yourself keeping and using? A lot of our biggest regrets are the bags that we buy because they're being hyped at the moment, or we think for whatever reason, this is something I should have. And 9 times out of 10, we end up selling them at a loss in 6 months or 12 months. These are the bags that come and go from our collection. And yes, while that can be fun once in a while, when we start to make a habit of it, when I would say more than 50% of the bags we are buying tend to come and go in our collection within a matter of months, that's when we really need to step back and reevaluate what we're doing, because inevitably it does always lead to fatigue and burnout. And I hate to tell you, the thing we've been told for years and years, that luxury bags are investments, is just not true. In very, very rare cases, do luxury bags resell for more than what you purchased them for. You really have to know exactly what those bags are, buy them at just the right time, sell them at just the right time, because the market does fluctuate. So it's just not a good mindset to buy these things from an investment standpoint. The vast majority of bags lose anywhere from about 20 to 50% of their value upon resale. And this is for bags in like new or excellent condition. They will lose value. So when you get into this constant cycle of buying and selling bags, not only does it drain your bank account, but it inevitably leads to luxury fatigue. And this really manifests itself in two different ways. The first way is that you never have time to go back and enjoy what you have. You're stuck on this hamster wheel of constantly chasing the next new bag, thinking about your next new purchase, that the bags you do have in your closet, you never have time to go back and enjoy them. It collects dust until eventually you decide to resell it at a loss, usually, to fund your next purchase. And that does get very exhausting over an extended period of time. I find it's just not sustainable for long term. And the other way that this manifests itself is that your purchases just stop feeling special. You sort of become numb to it because you're buying so much and selling so much that the excitement just wears off quicker and quicker each time. And then in the end, you're left with a cluttered closet of 10, 20, 30 bags that you don't use, instead of a curated collection of a few special pieces that truly speak to you and your life and your style. So, with all that, let's move on to some positive things, some strategies and shopping habits that I've adopted and are easy for you to adopt that can help you avoid falling into this trap. Number one, buy for you, not for the excitement, not for social media, not for the trends. Buy for you. And you best of all. You know deep in your heart if something truly is you or if you're just buying it for the excitement. One thing I like to do is immediately think of 5 different outfits I can style a bag with, or a pair of shoes, or whatever it is that I'm buying, and 2 to 3 places that I can wear that bag. So if I can't think of at least 5 outfits that I regularly wear, not aspirational outfits, but actual outfits that I wear on a semi-regular basis, if I can't think of at least 5 that I can wear a bag with, then I need to put it back. Also, if I can't think of 2 to 3 places I go on a regular basis where I can wear this bag, it's not right for me. We also need to normalize that it is okay to love a bag and think it's beautiful and not have to own it. I made this mistake big time when I bought the Louis Vuitton Dauphine in the, what was it called? In the Monoglam collection. I loved this and it was super exciting when I bought it. And I should have known better because this was so hard for me to style. I think I wore it on 2 occasions and that was it. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful, but it wasn't my style. I kept it for, I think, a year or two, and then I eventually sold it at a huge loss. So that was a really, really big lesson learned. And so this is the most important thing to keep in mind is buy for you, buy for your style. Really ask yourself the hard questions. Look at your closet, look at your life, and think, where am I actually going to use this bag? My second tip is to focus on your anchor bags first. This is your core collection. If your house was hypothetically on fire, these are the 3 or 4 bags you would rescue first. This could be your everyday essential bag, it could be your holy grail bag, or it could just be a bag that has a very special personal and sentimental value to you. Everyone's core collection is going to look a little bit different. I would boil it down to maybe 3 or 4 bags, maybe 5 bags maximum, depending on how big or small of a collection you like to keep. And when you focus on that core collection first, something I have found is it really relieves a lot of that pressure to go out and keep buying new bags whenever a new collection launches because you have that core already. You have all the essentials that you need. And it's probably, like I said, only going to be like 3 to 5 bags. It's also going to help you really develop your own personal style and really see what bags work for you, what bags don't, what are the ones you keep going back to again. Really curate and edit that core collection. And once you have that, at least in my experience, it really relieves a lot of that pressure to go out and keep buying and feel like you need to keep chasing the next greatest thing because you already have exactly what you need in your closet. My third and final tip is a relatively simple one, and that's just to wait before buying something. The best way to avoid impulse purchases is to just take a beat, take yourself out of the situation, whether it's leaving the store and going home to think about something, or whether it's just leaving an item in your online cart for a day before going back to it. It's very, very important to remember that a lot of sales associates and brands use scarcity marketing to get you to impulse buy something, and very, very rarely is that ever the case. The FOMO is usually fake and the scarcity is usually artificial. The best recent example of this was the Louis Vuitton collaboration with Takashi Murakami last year in 2025. This had huge buzz, huge hype around the launch. Items were selling out immediately online. There were waiting lists. There was no stock in stores because it was sold out. You could not get this collection to save your life. But then, lo and behold, everything started showing up on the resale market. If you go on Fashion File now and look for these collaborations, you can see plenty of pieces sitting online, a lot of them discounted. And not only that, Louis Vuitton also reissued the collaboration again this year. All of these pieces are back online in 2026. So definitely keep this in mind that these are tactics brands use to get you to buy something on an impulse, but really stay true to yourself. Take a minute, really think about it before you swipe that card. If you have any other tips or stories, I would love for you to share them with us in the comments section below. As always, I'll leave another video up here for you to watch next, and I'll see you in the next one.